Hello, everybody. I am Jewel, your host. Tonight we're going to be talking about choices to avoid. Um, just to give you a brief summary of what we've been doing, I have changed my platform up a little bit while we're waiting on Martin with Hustlers or from Hustlers, representing Hustlers. Just going to give you a bit of information. We've got some days that I just want to tell you about. Number one, we're going to be doing Monday, Makeup Monday, for the rest of uh, the month of January. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesday afternoons, I'll be with Martin uh, on Instagram from 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. And then on Thursdays, I'll be with Martin here on Facebook. So my apologies to everyone as I'm trying to get my lighting correct. I'm trying to make some changes and just trying to get some things done. The good part is I don't have to worry about putting on makeup because we're talking about health and wellness and just a natural look. But on Monday, make sure you tune in for Makeup Monday. That's where you can create your own compact, or you can just buy the compacts that are already ready to purchase. So go to simplyjewel.com/shop, or just call me. And hi, Martin. I was just giving them a brief summary of what we're doing. And then lastly, I wanted to tell them about Saturday. Saturday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I believe for your time, it would be 4 p.m. on Saturdays, where we're talking about making a change in our community. That with Deb, who is doing great things in her community. So with that being said, we got the old business out the way, new business. We're going to be talking about choices to avoid. And this is also good for those who may have uh, diabetes, high cholesterol. These are good choices to avoid. So welcome, Martin. How are you tonight?
Hi, Julie. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Great to be on with everybody again. I know you were doing your introduction. I got on a little kind of in the middle of it. I didn't want to hold you up, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. That should be a good little show. So I'll be looking forward to that. And then yeah, just going about into healthy choices. Obviously, we talk about what you should be doing, what you should be doing. Now we want to talk about what you have been doing and what it's doing to your body, to your mind, to your nervous system, to your kind of whole frequency, your vibe, and kind of how you're seeing those effects play out. And we're trying to see if we can find the problem. Once we find the problem, find the solution, and then from there, I think we can navigate on what works for every single person. But the first thing is we got to find a problem, and I think these are problems that are coming across the majority of people in society nowadays. And like I said, I just wanted to go over a few of them. I know you have your own thoughts on these as well. They're mainstream foods and drinks in our everyday everyday adventures, but we've got to find a way to control it and to find a way where you're in control. I'm not saying eliminate completely. I'm just saying where you can manage it and you be in control, and you say, okay, you know what, it's Friday night. I'm enjoying myself. I want to have a dessert. I want to have cinnamon bun or this and that, and ice cream or whatever it is, and such forth from there. And like I said, something that fits your body. Something that fits your lifestyle. If you know that you're gonna have an active day, you're gonna have a long day. Like today, I literally knew I was gonna have a long day, so I just piled on a little more fruit, a little more, I'd say, some sweets. Like I said, some kind of healthier sweets, just to kind of give me that natural push that I need, but not every single day. You know what I mean? So I have 3 topics that I wanted to go over. One of them is pop and soda. The other one was sweets, as it kind of be a little different between the last one, candy. So I like, for example, chocolates and cake and muffins, bakery. I consider those sweets, not candy, but still things you should watch in your everyday routine of how you want to incorporate and such forth from there. Especially like now these 3 are big if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to lose weight, these 3 you want to try to avoid for a good amount of time, not forever, but a good amount of time where your body can kind of get over that hill of eliminating all those toxins, get back to running, 100% fully focused and fully moving. Then you can kind of incorporate these foods here and there. Not because obviously we know soda is bad for you and this and that. I think people kind of just have those initial instincts of like what not to do. They just don't know why. They're like, yeah, people tell me not to drink soda. I don't know why. Like, okay, it's bad for your, digestive system, whatever. But I drink it every day. I'm fine until I get to 60 and 70. It is what it is. But I think what we're trying to do is, and I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, is to say that your older years shouldn't be in struggle. Your older years should be the times when you should be enjoying your life the most. You've seen pretty much everything you could see. You've pretty much outlasted majority of people that are at that age as well. So your 60s, 70s, 80s, those should be times when you should be at your best giving to others, whether it's your wisdom, your experience, whether it's actual services and such forth from there. But you really can't, share everything that you've gotten and receive, whether it's life lessons and experiences and things that you just learned on your own. You really can't share them if you're sick, if you're having problems walking, if you're having problems traveling and such forth from there. So my thing is, it's not to say don't have a great life. Listen, everyone's feeling great when they're 30s, 40s, and 50s. Everyone's okay. As soon as it gets to, in the mid 50s, 60s, 70s, it's like literally all downhill from there. And that's not what life is about, especially nowadays, 2023, the amount of technology, the amount of things we can help better ourselves to, elongate our lifespan. It's crazy to think how people are getting sick in the 50s and 60s, but we're going to go over some of these now, and it's not going to be too crazy in terms of kind of what we're seeing in society and what the problems are and where they're deriving from. We can literally see a link, but it's up to us, you and I, others that are trying to do it, because it's not in their face, right? It's not in their face to say, hey, well, if you want to drink pop, it's up to you. 90% of people are going to drink the pop. You know what I mean? So the control will never be from outside. You will never have an outside source give you a control, give you a demand. But I think that's where society is wrong. Well, until they say I can't drink 3 pops in a week, I can drink 3 pops in a week. Well, we're going to kind of go over that. So the first thing I wanted to touch base on, and the first thing I wanted to speak on was pop and soda. They are literally, there's literally no vitamins, no minerals, and no fiber in the drinks. They're literally going through your body, just adding calories. They're literally adding, and for you, it's a good way to wash down my food. There's a nice taste to it. It's cold. It's strawberry flavor. It's cherry flavor. It's Coke. Whatever it is, it's literally just adding calories to your routine, to your as they say diet. But simple changes like that, something simple where you could be watching your calories in the morning, lunch, dinner, literally all day, but you're stuffing down, an 18 ounce or 16 ounce, 2 or 3 a day. It literally does not matter because you're just packing on those calories. And then when you go do your workout or you go do your walk or your such forth from there, you're literally just burning off those calories, water calories that shouldn't be there. So I think the number one thing, just to help kind of alleviate problems in terms of what it will do to you, obviously we're going to go over that, but just in terms of weight management, Easiest way to cut out calories: stop eating pop and soda, stop eating sugary drinks, and you'll right away cut off 200 calories, 300 calories, 400 calories. Well, you're like, oh, Martin, that's not a lot. But, 200, 300 calories, if you're talking about what you could pack on in terms of fruit, nuts, veggies, such forth from there, you can really get something full out of yourself and then not have to deal with the negatives that are derived from soda and pop. So obviously the biggest thing that we have is it's just full of calories. It's just adding on calories. The more the drink, I've seen like chugs, like these gulp. I'm like, this is like a 64-ounce drink. You just drink, like adding calories and adding calories with no fiber. You're gonna still feel hungry. You're gonna get a food craving after. So just full of calories. So you want to stay away from it. Just in terms of weight management, you're just adding on calories. Where that extra 400 calories of a soda or pop, you could add literally another chicken thigh, or another sandwich, or literally another snack meal besides just the sodas that you're consuming. So obviously the high sugars. I've seen, we've seen memes and videos where they're comparing how much sugar tablespoons is in each pop and soda. It's so much that they literally have to put other chemicals in there for our body to digest that much sugar. So it's literally full of sugar. Sugar is linked to obesity, which obviously is linked to also as well with type 2 diabetes. It doesn't help with weight gain. It doesn't help with weight management, as it has your insulin levels just rising and going all over the place, and it just spikes up your blood level, your blood sugar levels, and it also not healthy as I didn't know this, but it also adds it adds fat tissues to your liver, which gives it a liver disease, and I didn't know that, which is horrible. And then the last, obviously, it increases your heart disease and cancer because of the ingredients and the what's actually in there. And obviously the amount that people are drinking nowadays needs to be cut a lot. So your thoughts on soda, a pop? The most that I'll do with soda and pop is maybe like a ginger ale when I'm kind of feeling under the weather a little bit. I need just one of those nights, and I'm kind of shivering, shaking from a long week or whatever, and I'll consume some ginger ale. But pop, soda, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, all that stuff, I don't even get near it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Well, number one, ginger ale is good, but you want to drink it warm. They all have over 30, I believe it's 30 grams, 35 grams of sugar. So, you know, I see Miss J says she hasn't had Pepsi in over or soda in over 2 years, which is good. But yeah, and we all have to understand that sugar is cancer causing.
Mm.
So you want to eliminate your sugar, get your sugar from natural fruits, natural vegetables. That's where the sugar comes in, because really any food you eat is sugar. It
Mm.
turns it, so that is something we have to be careful with. There's some questions there that somebody was asking, but as far as pop, soda pop, uh, drinks, I always say it's good to have ice if you're going to drink it, or if not, drink it. If you drink a soda, then drink water. Every time you drink the soda, you need to drink water. Eventually, you want to get down to maybe one a week, and then eventually none, because when you start drinking teas, that becomes your water as well.
Mm.
So you don't, we always say, how much water do I drink? We say, take your body weight, divide it in half. That's how much water you should drink. So if you're 200 pounds, you need 100 uh, ounces of cc's of water, 100 ounces of water, and then your food will substitute the other part of the water. And then you have tea. But you have to be careful, because if you drink too much, people are like, oh, I drink 64 ounces of water a day. And then they have fruit. And then they have vegetables. And, your electrolytes can burn out. You can compensate your
Mm.
electrolytes. So
Mm.
you have to be careful. And yes, you do want to reduce your soda. Pick a cheat date. You know, if you want to have one day, I think I put that on the platform yesterday about having a cheat date, you
Mm.
know, because by the end of the day, if you're eating healthy, if you're making healthy choices, you won't want it anyway. Your
Mm.
body starts craving water.
Yeah, that's very interesting that you say that. One of the things that people may not understand is your body will literally crave the healthy choices. You'll crave water. Like you're like I don't get it. I don't have crave for water. I need a Coke, a Pepsi, a Mountain Dew. I need that flavor. Trust me, guys. When you start getting your body, when you start detoxifying and eliminating those foods and those drinks away from your body, your body will start waking up and it'll literally give you those cravings. The reason you're craving those foods and those drinks is because you're consuming them. When you stop consuming them, or it can start, consume at a slower rate, your body starts waking up and to start consuming what it's helping, what it's giving it the most help. Water, fruit, vegetables. It's not like you have to tell your body like, oh man, today I gotta eat healthy. Oh man, you have to do that in the beginning because you're doing
Yeah,
something that you've never done before. It's like a professional athlete. No matter what sport they play, before they start their season, they have a preseason. They come in, they see staff, they start stretching their legs, they start nice and easy moving their arms, they start remembering how to shoot a basketball again, and then within 2 weeks, they go from like barely able to walk to all of a sudden full speed, back and forth, 60-minute games, and that's what we're doing with our bodies. We're trying to eliminate it, and it's different, honestly. For some people, let's not even talk about those people who are not being active. Let's talk about those people who are working out at least 3 or 4 days, eating, 3 or 4 meals a day and consuming bad meals. We're saying it's going to take time for you. Those individuals who are not active and eating this type of way and drinking this type of way, you've literally got to look at, half a year, 2 quarters, 3 quarters of a year and say, I've got to commit my life to this. This is not something that is a quick fix. This is not something you can fix in 2 months, especially people that are athletes and healthy lifestyles and this and that. You can literally, like for me, I literally feel when I'm starting to have like my cheat meal, the next day, it's so hard to get back
yeah,
on my routine because my body's like, hey, what was that food? What did you just have? That was good. And you literally have to be like, no, it's okay. And then as soon as I get back in my routine and I'm eating my veggies and drinking my water, everything is back to normal. Everything is fine. The control is back. So you've got to be in control. Now, if you can't control your appetite, I forgot who told me, but someone always said, if you can't control your appetite, we cannot rely on you on anything in life. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, if you can't control your appetite, if you're in a mood to go drive down to Taco Bell, or if you're in a rush to get in your fridge and open up that bag of Doritos, or just munch yourself down with some ice cream, you cannot be reliable on discipline, on running a full kind of like obstacle or operation. I'm like, wow, that's interesting you say that. And I was like, why would you say that? He's like, because you can't tell your mind, you can't turn off your mind. Someone
right.
who can't turn off their cravings, they don't have control of their mind. That's why they're looking at the clock like, oh man, it's 1 o'clock. Can't wait till 3 o'clock. Can't wait to go eat. Oh, I can't wait till 5 o'clock. I need to go eat. Let's relax. Let's relax. You've got to be like, you know what? I can clock in another hour
Yeah,
and I'll be fine. Some people literally will be pushing, and then that's where you get the hormones, the stress, the just the animosity. You know what I mean? So there's so much other side effects to that in terms of the hormonal state and the nervous state
right.
system of what it'll do to that. We're just talking about kind of the liver, the organs, the blood flow, what it'll work with there. But we'll talk into a little more with the side effects. But yeah, you have to control your cravings. You have to control your appetite. Like right now, I could eat right now. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it after the meeting, relax. People have to control their appetites. And the first way you start doing that is you start putting in foods that you want to put in your mouth and in your body that will help you and not just go against your brain. Some people literally have fights in their brain of like, oh, should I eat that? Should I eat that? That's not you. That's the food. It's the
That's
cravings in
right.
you.
Yeah, and
So,
see, this mind over matter. So,
yes.
answering some of these questions, Miss J speaks of the talk show and podcast. She said, yep, sure, I've been noticing that I can't hardly see it. So, can you see that her body's been craving more water? I'm trying to see. She also says she drinks 5 bottles of water a day. So, a lot of people know to drink water, but what they don't understand is it's good to drink water, but we also have to do what? We have to walk. It's mind over matter. We have to get our mindset ready so that we can start making healthy choices. So yeah, that and the sugar. Definitely want to reduce the sugar. We definitely want to drink more water. We want to walk more, and that will help. And I know you mentioned something about what does our body need? Our body needs fiber. So
Mm,
even though we're eating and ingesting more fiber, that's another reason to drink water
mm,
because we want to be able to push it through
mm,
and get the toxins out
mm,
of the body. So yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
And what else did you have there?
Yeah,
You
I
were
have two more. I have two categories: sweets and candy.
yes.
So sweets. Obviously, we know the fact of the number one thing it'll do for you, whether it's a brownie, a cake, a muffin, it's gonna spike your blood sugars, and it's gonna rise. And like I said, I manipulate mine. Like literally today, like I had a friend who came over last night, and they're like, "Hey, I found these vegan ice cream balls if you want to try out." So like chocolate covered on the outside and they're vanilla in the middle. I look in the back, there's like a handful of ingredients and I'm like, oh man, whatever. I try to stay as least ingredients as possible. So when I say vegan, I don't like to say vegan, I like to say plant-based. So as least as ingredients as possible. But I knew I was going to have that long day today and they're stuck in my fridge. I literally popped one and had one like as a breakfast, even though it's an ice cream, even though it's a sweet.
Yeah.
I kind of used it in my fat. I didn't have like all six. I had one, and I had my like toast, my guac with some hummus, and my fruit, and then I popped one of those in as a
Okay.
kind of okay. I had my dessert. Whoop de wop. Wow, this tastes good. But I had it in the morning, literally like nine o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, and I've been busy the whole day. You know what I mean? Now, is this something where gonna pop, another 3 or 4 at night? No. But for me, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be busy for the next 8, 9 hours and I'm going to be on my feet, okay, you know what? I'll do it because your blood sugars will rise and you need to do something with that. If you don't get your body going, what's going to happen is that's when the insulin, your natural body will start pushing insulin in your body to bring your heart rate down to make you calm down. But insulin is a fat storing cell. So if you have too much insulin in your body, whatever you eat, it's just going to absorb it, and then boom, you have what we don't want is weight here, pounds there, and they just start adding up. So we want to eliminate that because we don't want our heart rate to spike up unless we're in the mood where we want it to get it spiked up, where it's going to we're going to maybe a work event. Maybe we're going to, see family, so there's going to be a lot of energy. You want to be in a good mood. You know what I mean? You want to be kind of in the up, and though you're going to go play a game. You're going to go play, co-ed, this and that. Okay, I understand it. That's a natural way of saying, okay, I need my body to get up and get ready for this event. Here's something I can go to. Okay, I understand. But that's the number one reason. So we want to eliminate the sweets just because it's the number one factor of just pushing weight gain to us. The next from there, obviously, it's linked to heart disease. It's also linked to cancer. Consuming high amounts of sweets with a non-active lifestyle, you put your body at risk of being able to, have heart disease problems in one line or another of a tier of cancer. And then this was interesting, but I could see this as well, where it actually linked to depression. People have the sweets, or it gets their body mood, making it puts you in a good mood, making you feel good, and then if no one's around you, or if you're kind of alone, or you thought you're going on a date and the date kind of canceled on you, it can kind of bring some bad effects, and it's actually linked to depression as well. People who are depressed eat a high amounts of sweets to kind of make them feel better, make them kind of cover their bad feelings when they're around people, and so it's not a healthy way to kind of relieve or go down that path where it's kind of like, oh man, I know I'm going to have a long day at work. I'm just going to eat my 2 muffins. I know it's going to get me through. We want to eliminate that. Don't use those as excuses to go forward. And then the last point is actually consuming a high amounts of sweets actually is an accelerator to aging. So it's bad for your skin, not just your face, your whole body, but it also increases and accelerates aging effects in your body as well. And I know for women, they try to do everything they can to try to stay as young as possible. And I think this is where you have to start looking at men and women, understanding that you've got to work on the inside, then the outside will be much, much easier to kind of work with or finagle or such forth from there. So that was my second topic, was sweets. I'll be honest with you. When I was younger, I had a sweet tooth. Like there was no
That's my
tomorrow.
weakness.
I'd be waking
Yes.
up, going before I go to school, look in the fridge. I see some ice cream, take a couple scoops, go off to school, come back before I go to practice. Oh, my mom's got some muffins out from Sam's Club. Only we have half of that. And it just adds problems on problems and problems when I'm just like trying to work out, but then it's just like not working out enough because I don't see any changes, and you're just going down a path of really not just hurting yourself. So your
Yeah.
thoughts there on sweets?
Yeah, that's my weakness. I love sweets. However, I have learned to eat what I want. Like I'll make a pan of brownies and I get what I want, but there's other some people sometimes they have a sweet tooth or maybe not have a sweet tooth. But I have learned kashi, I
Mm,
will substitute. And so instead of having, like, don't get me wrong, I love my brownies, and my favorite would be a scoop of ice cream with brownies, and then I put chocolate on top, and then I get that out the way, and I'm fine. But then there's some days when I'm really health conscious, and I'll do the kashi with the chia seeds and then the chocolate chips. So that's something that I substitute with.
mm,
Or I have found there's different foods that I will in that I'll eat because it takes the craving
mm,
away.
mm,
So maybe like 1 month I'll just maybe 2 weeks out the month I'll eat whatever I want, get it over with, and then
mm,
I go back to healthy choices. I
mm,
like the Greek yogurt. My favorite is coconut Greek yogurt, vanilla Greek yogurt.
mm,
Um, I also like to do baked apples with the cinnamon and the brown sugar
mm,
because it's natural sugar.
mm,
So yeah, we have to learn how to regulate the sugar. It's mind over matter.
mm,
If you're stressed out and you know you're stressed out and you know you want something sweet, then you have to plan and you have to be mindful that, okay, I know I'm stressed out. In order to make healthy choices, in order not to increase that sugar intake that
mm,
is cancer causing, you have to think, okay, maybe a banana, slice it up and use maybe chocolate. Now, for people that are depressed or have other mental disorders, sometimes it's good to have a piece of chocolate, but
mm,
you don't want to consume like pounds of chocolate.
mm,
So It's just a matter of helping people to understand,
Mm,
okay, you know you're stressed, but what are some good choices? What is rich in nutrients
mm,
that you can substitute?
mhm,
Um, because you already know, if you're like me, you have a sweet tooth.
mm,
But then again, I know what I need to do to counteract.
mm,
But everyday ordinary people, they may not know the
mm,
different things they have to do. Oh,
mhm,
I see Marie is on. Like she says she liked the apples with cinnamon. Yes, that is something that I always do. It's
mm,
like especially um, for like after a Sunday meal, you cut up the apples, you
mm,
put the, I'd rather use real butter. I don't use artificial anything.
mm,
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to use real ingredients,
mm,
get it get it over with and move on.
mm.
So yeah, you cut up the apples, you put butter in there, cinnamon, brown sugar, and you bake it. You can put oatmeal on top, or you can um, melt the butter with the oatmeal and it'll make it like a crunch on top.
Mm.
And that's something that is very good for those that, are trying to reduce their sugar intake, natural sugar.
Yeah.
And it
I,
also promotes health and, you know,
mhm.
like you said, it helps to, with the chia seeds. A lot of people are making chia puddings. I'm not a big chia eater. I'll eat it in the little bars, but I don't like it. I'll put it in my smoothies because it's slimy. But I don't really like it that well, but I will eat it in one of those, I think is Kashi bars with the chocolate chips. Excuse me, and it also has the what am I trying to say? The other fibers like um uh oatmeal. It's just a bar, but
Got a
it's not
green. Yeah,
yeah.
it's got a bunch of greens on it. The fiber, not the
Yeah.
nuts. Yeah.
I'll probably grab it and so people can see what I'm talking about before we end or while you're talking on something. But yeah, anything to improve the blood sugar, to reduce the sugar, um, that's high in vitamin B, fiber. That's what I look for so that I can keep everything moving.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, because we're going over this, and I know we went over a majority of kind of meals, and I know we had spoken about snacks. Now that I'm thinking about it, people are kind of really hard held on the fact of their 3 meals, their 4 meals. I think the problems happen where they can't get to that time where they can have their dinner or their lunch,
Sure.
and they're like, "What do I do right now? Oh man, I'm stuck." And that's where I think the problems happen. So maybe next week or show soon, I can lay out like 15 different snacks, like combinations for people to
Okay.
kind of like, oh, that works. Like we just saw one here with the apples and the cinnamon, or the apples and the peanut butter. Maybe I can look up like a 15, like a top 15, and
Yeah.
and say, hey guys, veggie wise, fruit wise, meal wise, here are the top 15 that I recommend. And that way you can start incorporating these things instead of a muffin, or start incorporating these things instead of going through a half a bag of chips. And maybe there we can start getting down the path of elimination by a substitution right away. So I think maybe I'll talk to you after the Zoom, which show we can plan that in. But I'd like to do that as I see some great celery with hummus. Yes, Marie. So I think we'll definitely have to do that. And I think what it will also do is that'll also give the audience a chance to give out their own kind of snacks that are working out. And that way, I think we can really start like really knocking this stuff down. And not
Right.
just my idea, your idea, but I love, celery and hummus. People think like it's got to be rocket science. It's not, guys. Just find something that works for you, find something that tastes good, and let's make this thing happen and go from there. And once you start feeling better and looking better, it's so much easier. Right now, it's so hard because it's hard in your mind. Once you make it comfortable for you and you start seeing the pathway and this starts waking up, it's game over. it's game over. It's just like anything that you've done, riding a bike, learning how to do math, reading. In the beginning, you're like, what the heck is this? I don't know how to do fractions. I don't know how to do division. And then all of a sudden, one thing to another, and you're just knocking out your new whole lifestyle. And it's just perspective, right? So I think we'll definitely have to do that. I want to do like a top 15 veggies, fruit, snacks, different combinations people can do. And it doesn't have to be healthy, but something where it's like low calorie and not so much ingredients. I'm going to put on there as well. And then the audience is more than welcome to share their thoughts on that as well. So,
and I'm actually going through here. I see Tess is on here. She had something to say. Hey, you guys, if you want to come on the screen, go ahead and add yourself, or I can invite you so that you can come on the screen and let's talk about it. Today is our hour session, so we can talk to you. If there's anybody that wants to come on, I can try and send an invite.
yeah,
But yeah,
if anyone has a question, I think that would be even better. That way we can kind of knock out my view and your view. If anyone has any questions on anything, a tip, a snack, a meal, what am I drinking here and there? What can I do this and that? Even alcohol. People are like, oh, what should I do with alcohol? People, they invited me out. What should I do? This and that. Oh, hello. Yes, we got our first guest.
hey,
Hello.
okay, we
Hello,
got
how are you?
Marie on. Marie is on. So Marie, do you have a question for us? I'm trying to invite. We can get one more on. We can do 4.
How's it
Yeah, I was
going? How are you?
good. I'm doing great. Thanks. Just enjoying the conversation, like the healthy snacks.
Yeah, I see
I do.
person just asked a question. What causes inflammation in the body? The first thing for me, as I'll say, is fried food. Food that is fried is a right away indication of not being taken in your body fully. And that's where kind of inflammation starts. And then there's nitpicks here and there. Obviously, if you're eating a high amounts of meat, nothing against meat, but if you're eating high amounts of meat, that'll also cause digestive problems as well, and some maybe joint issues as well. So, like I said, if you have a personal question, feel free to ask as well. But yeah, I would look into.
Yeah, so we got Tess.
Sorry, Marie.
Can you see?
I didn't mean to interrupt Marie. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, okay, who is that? Oh, there we have Miss J. Hey, Miss J. You were asking what causes inflammation, correct?
Yes.
Well, what causes inflammation is a lot of the sugar in our body, and the foods that you want to reduce inflammation would be pineapple, for one. That helps to reduce inflammation. But a lot of the foods that we eat, you definitely have to pay attention to the sugar, carbohydrates. All of those foods cause inflammation. So sugar, carbohydrates, sometimes cheese. Your cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Martin here, he's trying to get me to try a cheese, and I keep saying I'm gonna try it. So what is that again, Martin?
Yeah, I'm gonna have the brand. I'm gonna send you the brand that you can buy. But like I said, when I say vegan, I try to be as least ingredients as possible. So I try to stay as plant-based as possible. But the two for me in terms of inflammation are the fried food and then the dairy. The dairy for me, because I'm a soccer player and I was always running and that forth, I would like it was no tomorrow. Like it was no tomorrow. My ankle would just like I'd be running straight. My ankle would just give. I would have problems in my hips, my lower back. When I eliminated the dairy first, and I right away started seeing improvements in terms of my bones being able to hold more muscle, where I was actually being able to squat more, jump higher. My body was able to kind of pour in instead of like give out. So the dairy really helped for me. Besides my stomach problems, my feet were 1000% much better. My ankles, my heel, my knees,
Wow.
so much better. Yeah, so the dairy and the fried food for me, I love fried mozzarella sticks. Back in the day, fried mozzarella sticks, fried chicken, fried pickles, onion rings, all this kind of stuff. But after a
Okay.
while, you know, they just beat up on your joints, and once your actual tendons and joints are gone, you can't replace them, and that's where they say aging happens. It's not aging.
Yeah.
You're 50, 60,
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Just because you can't move your body doesn't mean you're
Oh,
aging. So those are my 2 cents there. But I'm more than happy to hear from you two women as well. Great to have more guests. This is awesome. I've never been a part of a four group panel, so I'm excited. So thanks again, guys. And yeah, any questions or any thoughts that you guys have on there, I'll be taking my notes and listening going forward. Excellent.
Okay. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Go ahead, Miss J.
no,
I appreciate that because I always wondered, what kind of food was I eating? What, because I eat, I do eat, but I was just I don't eat no fried food. I haven't had fried food in about 10 years. I just stopped at cold turkey.
Wow.
And me and husband just bake all the time. We don't eat no pork. Haven't had no pork in about 10 years.
Excellent.
Cold turkey. But I was just always wondering, what is it that I'm eating that to me it just seems like, because I'll be 61 in July, and it just seems like to me I ache so bad sometimes. I don't know, because I lay in the air conditioning 24/7, right there blows on me. I don't know. But one of my friend girls, she said, well, take notice of what you eating.
right.
That's why I asked you that question. What kind of food that could be causing inflammation? Because right now my arms are, when I say sore, they are sore. They are sore. And I haven't been doing that. And I wake up like this every morning. But I don't know, because I got my air conditioner right there. And air conditioner be on when it's 40 degrees outside, y'all. It's one of them things. It's one of them things.
Oh, wow.
So women can understand. So I keep my air conditioner on 24/7. It's a window air conditioner. I don't know if that's what's causing it. But I know every morning I'm sore. Every morning. Every morning.
And where are you sore? Like your actual hands, your elbows?
All in my arms up in here, especially all up in here, just sore, just sore.
When you said you bake, do you bake like hours and hours and hours on top?
Oh yeah, I bake. I done burnt so many elements out. Stop it, you being mean midnight. I done burnt so many elements out of my oven, because we don't fry anything. And this fish is lamb chop. You see what I'm saying? No pork. But it's something going on that causing this inflammation in me, and I feel like that's what it is, or from the air conditioner one, but this is all the time, and it might be something I'm eating.
Yeah, I would, if you want, message myself or message Marie, just like the 7-10 things that you're eating in a day that you eat in a day, and maybe just one of those things that's just causing those problems. I know recently one of my friends started doing kickboxing, where they're like punching and stuff, and she's waking up with the middle of her back really sore, and she's like, I've never felt this before, this and that. And I'm like, think about it, you're reaching all the time, you're doing that. So you have to do some exercises for your back to strengthen your back, do some shoulder blade exercises. So for you, if you're baking and you're pounding, it's kind of like you're kind of like a massage therapist, using your hands with your thumbs, pushing with your elbow. You got a tear on your shoulders, elbows. So I would say maybe incorporating a little more of an exercise, maybe doing some things when you're going for a walk, or maybe having like a 1 pound weight and just doing some biceps, 1 pound weight, 2 pound weight, just because what's going on right now is the burn is going right away to your tendons.
Right.
And there's nothing like as a safety net there. So you have to kind of install some safety net. And what do you do? How do you do that? Add a little resistance. So even grab like a can of a heavy can of beans, and just curl it 20 times, or hold it and then go back down. And you just want to engage these muscles here, so it kind of wakes up and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. Especially for you. See, for me, it was opposite. I was lower body for soccer, so I had to make sure my ankles and everything was ready to go. With you, it's your upper body. So since you're pushing from your shoulder and elongating from your elbow, this part of your body will always be a little more used than the rest of it. So you got to take care of this part of your body a little more. Even stuff above your head and just reaching and just keeping your elbows back, and that'll elongate your triceps. And then if you want to hold a can of beans, and that'll just start putting a little resistance in there. But like I said, it'll start puffing it up a little more. So that way it can kind of get away from the inflammation. Inflammation is just your tendons and your joints just rubbing on each other. There's no more give.
Oh, I thought it was swelling. I always thought inflammation, swelling, you know, that's what I thought. I used to
Well,
think,
if you're swelling, maybe that's something else in the diet that we got.
Oh, no, that's what I always thought what inflammation meant. It meant in the inside of our body we got some inflammation, some fluid somewhere. That's what I used to think. You know, inflammation. But no, I'm not swelling now. No swelling.
Good.
Yeah.
Just aching.
I hope
just aching.
that helps a little bit.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm gonna try that part about what you said with the beans. You know, because we got plenty of them in the cabinet. I'm gonna try that, and
it might seem like, what am I doing? But it's just adding resistance and adding a little more weight to kind of puff that area up, because you're always using it. You know, imagine people that are walking all the time. And then what do they have when they're walking all the time? They start getting shin splints, or they're running all the time, they get shin splints, because they didn't strengthen up their whole leg around that leg. And then the bone starts the muscle starts going at the bone a little more. So just adding a little puff there. Now, so, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't want to be too big and this and that. Trust me, you'll have to be in the gym for a year consistently to start looking like a guy and building that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. I ain't trying to get all out of that.
Yeah, no, the testosterone is so much different between the men have so much more testosterone. So obviously a guy, you know, a kid, a high school kid, a college kid, and a woman the same age could be doing the same workouts. They're not going to have the same bodies.
Okay.
So that's something women are like, oh, I don't want to be. No, you have to do a little resistance training to give your body that strength that it needs to coordinate through each day. So yeah, I'm done talking. If anyone has any questions, but I think Marie, I cut off Marie. Marie, did you wanted to speak?
Hold on, Miss J.
Cut off again. Come on, Jewel, don't cut off again.
No, have Miss J stay on, and then let's see what Marie has to say. What was your question, Marie?
Now, I was going to mention my snacks that I prefer, like any kind of nuts, like almonds or walnuts, pecans. I do carrots with the blue cheese.
Oh, wow.
Or hummus, and I do the celery, ripe bananas, or apple with natural peanut butter. Those are the ones that I use. I eat.
Excellent.
Yeah, those are good choices. Especially when you're trying to curb your sweet tooth. A lot of people will do peanut butter, and like you said, natural. Now I know some people like a certain ice cream with banana. There's something about ice cream and banana. Now that I can have. But the peanut butter I can't. But you know what? I can do sun butter. So I may try sun butter with I have had sun butter and bananas, but never sun butter and ice cream. But there's something about that combination. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna have to do some research on it. But I do know people that like that really well.
Really?
I was going to ask Marie real quick. You brought up some great snacks. Now, for you, when do you find yourself going to those snacks and using them? Is there a particular day, or is it just when you're kind of in a mode like, oh, I need it right now? When do you find yourselves going to the snacks? It's because it's interesting, because now that we're talking about it, I see this as a problem or an area we can kind of buff up a little bit and help individuals. So when do you find your time in the day, you know, going to the snacks and such forth?
Between meals when I'm home.
Between your meals, okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how kind of, is it by hours? Is it by day? Or, you know, whenever you feel mood? But how do you space out your meals? And if you don't mind me asking, when do you have your first meal in the day?
It depends. Some morning I'm more hungry than the others, or depending on if I'm home or if I'm at work. because when I'm working, I'm out of the house earlier, so breakfast may be earlier. So it's
Okay. Okay. And then the snacks are in between then.
right.
Your meals. And then kind of how many snacks in a day do you find yourself? 3 to 4, and then you know, so you know, between breakfast and lunch and dinner.
It's maybe 3 to 4 because I don't eat very big meals anymore.
Okay. Okay. And then how do you end your night? With a snack meal or with like your main meal?
With a snack meal mostly.
Okay.
Like I do
Interesting.
popcorn sometimes.
Okay. And what time do you usually have like your big last meal? Around what time?
Oh my, between 5 and 6. When I'm working, like by 6, but never after 7.
Okay. Okay. So never after 7, and then your snack is 7, 8 later in the
Right.
evening. Okay.
Thereabout.
And that's going well for you? Were you waking up kind of okay levels? Okay
Yes.
levels.
Don't have snacks every night.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's great. I mean, that's interesting because you're going at maybe like a maybe like a 12-hour, you know, 12-hour window, maybe even 15-hour window, and you're perfectly fine going to that the next day. Now, are you a big breakfast person? Do you like going to breakfast, or are you just like, if it's there, it's there?
No, I do breakfast most morning.
Okay. Excellent. And like I said, okay, so yeah, I mean, that's awesome. And the reason I bring that up, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but as you just for yourself, who's more on top of their meals and such, you're still getting 3 to 4 meals. 3 to 4 snacks a day. And if someone doesn't know how to manage those snacks or those areas, you could be just killing yourself or just, you know, going in circles. No matter, I ate a salad for you know, lunch, but then you have your candy, your muffin at snack time, then before 5 o'clock, before dinner, you're having some more snacks, some more candy, and then you're going downhill from there. So yeah, if both of you don't mind, maybe send myself or Marie just off the top of your mind your go-to snacks, just so we can kind of see what works for people, what doesn't work for people. Just
Marie, I think you meant Joel. That you
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Send Jewel or myself the comments, and that way, like I said, I would like to come up with a 15, and I don't want to come up with a 15, not in a bad way, but not like an apples and peanut butter, because everyone knows. I want
okay.
to come up with, you know, a good 15 where it's veg or fruit and a combination of something.
Okay.
You know, and say, okay, this actually looks good and tastes good. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I got a question. What is the reason to not to eat after 7 o'clock?
Well, so for me, the biggest reason is because your body needs at least 3 to 4 hours to digest that food that's in there. And then from there, your body goes into a state where you're going to sleep, where it actually moving that food through your body. So by the morning, all the food and toxins, everything's out, and then you're ready to go for your next day. There's a lot of people who are going to sleep. I think they call it craving sleep or some type of sleep, where if you eat your meal 2 hours or even 3 hours before you go to sleep, you're really not sleeping. And people are like, man, I slept for 8 hours, 10 hours. I don't feel sharp. I don't feel like I can focus, because your body's not going to sleep until it's gotten rid of that food. And if you've gone to sleep and that food is in you, it's still working. It's digesting. You might have turned this off, but your body is not off. We have to turn off our bodies, shut off our bodies, and that's when it can start. I mean, shut it off in terms of eating that last meal. So you want to kind of stay away from that big meal, especially people are when they're eating their meat. Even a salad at night, salad stays in your body for 7 to 8 hours. So if you're having a salad at 10 p.m.
Well, and then the body processes between 2 and 4 in the morning. So you want to not eat and sleep on the food because it doesn't process properly after a certain time, especially between 2 and 4 in the morning, when they say that you need at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep, especially as an adult. That's when you want to stop eating. If from 2 in the morning and you backtrack, that's 8 hours. That should be the time that you stop eating. Like for me, I'm up late at night, so I may make my last meal at 9 o'clock or my last snack because I'm up till 2 in the morning. So it depends on your bedtime, but you definitely want, yeah, you definitely want to not eat at least, you know, 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, and then at 2 o'clock in the morning, you already know. So if you're up late at night till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and
That's
you're
me. 3,
snacking,
4, 5 in the morning.
that's not
Yeah.
healthy.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
you want to eat your big meal before 7, 8 o'clock at night. If you're going to snack at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning while you're watching TV, or 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, you want foods that have, like, vegetables. You don't want to be eating, you know, 3 slices of cake. You don't want a full shrimp dinner. You don't want a baked potato and a piece of meat at midnight. That's not what you want, playa. That's not what you want. Yeah.
I'm guilty.
So you want to eat, I would say, I don't know, Martin, what do you call them? Empty calories. You don't want to eat that kind of those types of foods between 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning. You may be up at that time, but that's when you gain your most weight, by eating and snacking between 10 and 2 in the morning.
Yes.
Wow. Now, can I ask? Y'all know what? Y'all excuse me. Y'all see this? This is my rescue kitty. Midnight. He just being bad tonight. But can I ask the young lady that's up here on the panel with us? Do you see the difference now? However long you just start eating stop eating at 7. Do you see a difference?
Yes, I've been doing that for a very long time, and there's a difference. I sleep better because I don't have a stomach full. I didn't go to bed with food sitting in my stomach. So I rest well. I wake up more alert. Yeah.
But before that, it was some,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay. So that this explains what me then, because I'm 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I go in there and
you guys are funny.
And fry some chicken and put some chicken wings in the what's that thing, that ninja thing? Cup of chicken wings. Yep, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Man, hubbub eating it with ranch dressing.
Oh, jeez, no, okay. See, these things, when we get to the nitty gritty and we start,
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I mean,
wow,
and it's not something where it's scientific and like, hey, it's got to be an experiment. You got to go get this at Walmart or get this ingredient.
Okay.
Just look at that. Just look at look how you're moving. Look how look how your actions are. Can I change it? And that's all.
Okay.
And that's all it is. And you're gonna see a difference daily, weekly, and then you're just gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to do that. You know what? I don't want to do that. Your body you'll just start feeling better of what not to do and what to do. Right now, the tough part is because your mind is going against itself. No, don't do this. No, it's comfortable. No, you're gonna like this. No, just sleep, just rest. Like, no, I have to eat now. Then I'm gonna go to sleep, turn off, and go from there. And you just have to start really, really controlling this thing in your head. Once you control this, everything else will be fine. But you're putting stuff in your body that's making it hard to control your body, to control your mind. And that's where it's, waking up, it's a craving, you feel good. Then you can kind of do your thing the next morning. Well, I ate, I feel good. Now I can bake for my 4 or 5 hours in the morning. You got to substitute that. Even though it's helping you be more productive, it's helping you to your zone, because everyone has their own vice to get in their zone. If I give you your favorite drink or food, you'll work for 8 hours nonstop. Like there's no tomorrow. But do we rely on that every single time? And if it's a bad thing, it gives out. And we don't want to do that just to be more productive. You know what I mean? Especially if it's, you know, for money. You know, if it's to be around more family and to hang out with everyone at church longer, that's why I want to look good and feel good. So I want to be
Yes.
around my family. I want to be around grandkids, children for years to come, and not something where I'm just feeling good now and then everyone's around me being active at the picnic, but I'm just sitting down because I can't move because of my back, my legs.
Yep.
I don't want to do that. So yeah, I think the number one thing is maybe just start being a little more disciplined in those windows of when not to eat. And then when the window is to eat, you know, 8 in the morning to 8 p.m., I'm not saying go at it, but be you. Do you what you got to do. And then if you got to be like, here, when do I have to be sharp? After 8 p.m., after 9 p.m., and then in the early morning. And then from there, just really, really manage that. I think from there,
I'm gonna have to take baby steps.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Baby steps. That's all it is. Baby steps.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one who's gonna want to make your life feel better than you yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So once, and it's not going to be like a quote. It's not a motivation thing. It's not you know, looking on the scale, losing weight. Once you actually feel better, you're like, oh, this is working.
Yeah.
Then it's game over. Then it's game over. You know what I mean? Then you're in control. We just have to, if it's Jewel and myself being on with you guys for a week, a month, 2 months until that happens, then we'll be there. But once that happens, it's game over. And you like, oh man, I'm going to take control. You're going to start wanting to look different, change your clothes. I want to be more active. I want to be in that community event now. You'll just want to be out there. You know what I mean? And so I can't believe I was inside all these years and I was non-active. I want to do something now. And then boom, you know, you'll go from there. So that's all we're trying to do here. It's not to get a 6-pack and, you know, big biceps.
Right.
We're not trying.
I
just want people to feel good around their loved ones as long as possible. As long as possible. Not until they're 50, 55, then in a wheelchair and a cane.
Yeah. I know somebody like that right now.
You know, so yeah, I'm glad we can kind of help and open the eyes a little bit and say, oh, I didn't realize that. And then boom, let's go to the next thing.
But you know, and I don't mean to be talking too much, but I was just thinking while you was talking, to me, the good thing about this with me is that I'm blessed because I don't have no high blood pressure, no diabetes, no nothing like that. I mean, I don't take no medication. You see what I'm saying? So I know this is something that I got to get right because at 60, going on 61 years old and no high blood pressure, nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is something that Jewel and I really got to get this right. I got to get this right. Because I know it's something that's causing this. It's something that's causing this. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like it's something that I'm eating.
Yeah.
I've already know it ain't got no arthritis. I've been just a month and a half ago. I had all them tests done, so I don't have arthritis, nothing like that. So it's something that I'm eating.
Yeah, the late night eating, and if you're eating the wings and the sauces, those sauces stay on your stomach, and it's not good for your stomach to have those on top of your stomach, and that's what throws off your hormones. And just off your concentration, your focus. So, yeah, it's a little bit of both. Yeah, so I would really
want to have some fried wings right now.
Sorry?
It makes me feel like I want to have some fried wings right now.
I'm thinking of Wingstop, and there are 13 different sauces, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
What I do,
I'm sorry.
Whatever I don't want to eat, I don't put it in the house.
Don't even go to it, and then don't even bring it in. Exactly. They say don't go shopping don't go grocery shopping for food when you're hungry. That's I like that, Marie. Don't bring it to you. Don't bring it in the house. Yeah.
So is an air fryer all right to use?
I mean,
say it again.
For me, an air
fryer all right to use? Cause we got the Ninja air fryer. Is that okay to be using?
I mean, I'll be honest. I've been reading a little more. I've come to the West Coast, and every family has a fryer. In Midwest, I never saw this. It wasn't in the house. People eat fried food and such forth, but not in the house. There are the actual fryers and the actual ingredients that are derived out of fryers. They're coming out now and saying that they're causing carcinogens, where the food is actually being heated in a type of way where the metals is actually going in the food and causing problems. Yeah, so I don't want to. I don't want to be the guy who goes down rabbit holes and this and that. It's just literally what I'm seeing on NBC, on MSNBC, all these different websites, and they're coming out with their studies and saying air fryers are causing certain issues because of the material in them. And no, I'm not saying what you're frying. I'm saying the actual metal. Yeah, the actual metals, the pieces there. So I don't know, Jewel and Marie, if you have your own thoughts on that as well. That's just kind of what I've been reading.
I do have an air fryer. I don't use it much. I use the oven part of it more than the air fryer, but I do have one. So it's a personal choice.
I'm not going to say if you use it every day, it's going to be, like I said, this is just a study. Obviously, the person who's doing that is like the A1 person who's drinking beer, they're drinking pop, they're not active, they're having late meals. So it's like, I don't want to look into stats too much, but there is a little kind of other things that are being, it's not like they're eating healthy and just the air fryer. I think it's very hard for someone to get sick where you're eating healthy and then the air fryer causes these major problems. I think it's a variety of problems. They're saying, hey, we see that majority of your meals are coming from an air fryer. Maybe this is where the problem's coming from. I look at it the other way. I'm saying maybe those 2 cans of Coke that you're drinking, maybe those candy that you're eating in the morning, maybe the muffins and the blueberries, maybe the soda, those things all have to do with it as well. So I'm not going to sit here and say, don't get an air fryer. I'm going to say, try to eliminate as much as you can. If you're going to if you're going to have an air fryer, chicken, whatever's in there, fries, or, potato fries, whatever, that's fine. But if you're adding, what do men do? They're going to have their two chugs of beer. Yeah. Have their a little tequila after. They're going to munch down 2 burgers. See, that's where, air fryer causes problems, but it's the majority. If you're taking care of everything else, air fryer shouldn't be a problem, especially if you're portionizing it, you're eating kind of not stuffing the whole thing to kind of get much meat in there.
We do need to get back to basics. That's something that we definitely need to get back to basics. But you guys, I hate to cut everybody off. We have ended this session, and we will be back next Thursday. But don't forget, we are on Instagram Tuesday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. And then you guys are on the East Coast, so it'll be 3 p.m. on Tuesday, Instagram. And we'll be back on this same platform on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I hate to cut you guys off, but we've got to end the session. I appreciate you coming on. I had a great time. And Martin, tell them where they can find you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you guys want to find any information on foods or motivation or even workouts, you guys can go to my YouTube. I actually have a Hustlers Headquarters. There's actual workouts in there. You don't need a timer. You don't need music. You don't need to figure out your own workouts. Everything's in there. Timer tells you what exercise to do. There's 3 in there. I recommend 1 a week. And then from there, it kind of gives you a little foundation of what you want to do from there. So Hustlers Headquarters, or on Instagram and TikTok, Hustlers HQ. Just, motivational videos, something that you can have in the background, just giving your mind a little higher frequency, get you going a little bit to tackle whatever you have to do for your day. So like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say my way is the best way, but I want to feel they're at their best. So we're going to try to get there. So Hustlers Headquarters. And like I said, thank you again, Jewel. Thank you guys, guests, for jumping on. Really enjoyed you guys' perspective and enjoyed this bounce back and forth kind of discussion. And we literally the questions and concerns that you guys have, hundreds and thousands of them have them as well. So Marie, thank you again for your perspective. I forgot. I don't know the name of the other guest. Sorry. Is it
Yeah, go ahead and introduce you. You guys go ahead and introduce yourselves as we sign off. Yeah, you got
I apologize. Sorry.
Miss J speaks. She has a talk show and a podcast.
For Saturday, yes. That's going to be the talk on Saturday. Yeah. Sorry.
And then we have Miss Marie L. McKenzie, who is Are You Shut In? Her book, Rape Kit Expert. And so we will do this again. Feel free. Like I said, feel free to come back and see us, and we'll have more conversations. Next month, we're going to change the platform where we can get at least 10 people on, and we can have a conversation as well, and other visitors. And I want to thank everybody for watching tonight, and those that participated in the comments. Please continue to leave questions, comments in the comments section, and Martin and I can address those comments as well. All right. Peace and blessings. Good night, everybody. Thank you.